morning, everybody. How you guys doing? I'm Dave Mcgrogan. This is my son Grady, who's here today. He wanted to say hi to everybody today. So before I got to speak, he wanted to say hello. Say hi. All right, there you go. Want to go see your sister? Go over there. Come on, Ivy girl. This is his sister, Ivy. And Dad will be right here talking. There you go. So thank you guys for coming today. I hope everybody's doing great. We have some people that were at Galway. I see some right here in the front row, which was awesome. Their eyes are a little bloodshot from last night, but that's a sign of a good time. So I'll tell you guys really quickly about myself, and I also want to thank Enda, who created Irish Pubs Global. Enda, where are you in the room? He's somewhere. All right, Enda, who created Irish Pubs Global and asked me to speak in Galway. That's how we became friends, and I said we have to bring this to the United States. They agreed we have to bring it to the United States, so thank you very much for attending the very first Irish Pub Global Conference in the United States. And again, the purpose of this is we have such a tremendous profession here in owning Irish pubs across the United States, but none of us really work together. None of us find ways to share best practices. None of us find ways to really leverage our relationships with vendors and sponsors. And our buying power is amazing when you look at how many pubs are across the United States, that if we find ways to start working together and start becoming better at what we do, we're all going to be better off for it. So I really hope that you guys get to meet some great people this weekend and share great ideas. I know all the friends I met in Galway I still stay in touch with, whether they're in Uganda, whether they're in Saudi Arabia, whether they're in the Middle East. It doesn't matter where they are. We find ways to work together, and there's so much knowledge that can be gained because none of us have figured it all out. We definitely haven't figured it all out. The other thing I want to mention real quick is we have some great sponsors that are here today, and if you guys could please take some time to talk with the sponsors. An important thing, because the event took place in Philadelphia, I was able to bring some sponsors in that I've done business with. So if you see any sponsors that have anything about Kildare's with them, those are people that I would highly recommend that I have done business with and I would recommend to you. I know it's a tough business to decide who you're going to use for insurance or an architect or a point of sale. These are people that we've dealt with for numbers of years, and we can say yes. There are vendors that are not here who I would not say that about, okay? So I did not bring anybody who has a Kildare's affiliation, at least done business with us, that I wouldn't recommend. So please feel comfortable talking to them. And I do want to thank US Foods, and I want to thank Cisco for getting involved. You're going to see a lot of the food coming from them this weekend, and we really do appreciate their involvement because, believe it or not, it's extremely expensive to put on seminars. So without the vendors, we don't get to have them. So thank you guys very much for having me. I want to go right into my presentation. It's called Why Walk When You Can Charge? And what I want to try to do is I want to try to help you with goal setting. Okay, goal setting for yourselves and goal setting for your managers. How many people in this room have multiple pubs? How many in this room have more than one pub? Okay? And you know the quality of your life is related directly to the manager in your other pubs, right? Okay, how easy your life is or how complicated your life is directly related to the performance of the pubs that you may not oversee. If you're running one pub right now and you want to get better results and better sales out of that pub, we need to get you into goal setting mode, okay? Without measuring something and creating a goal for something, you're never going to get any better. So my goal today is to give you some real concrete ways that you can increase your sales, your performance, your numbers, and quite honestly, increase the quality of your life, okay? I don't want you to be married to your pub because people can't do it right. I want you to be married to a pub because you enjoy it, and if your goal is to expand, I want to help you be able to expand because you're running your current pubs properly and you're setting proper goals. So let's talk real quick about, first of all, that's my family, okay? Real quick, just to let you guys know where I came from and how I ended up in the restaurant business. I was a chiropractor for 6.5 years. I built two of the largest practices in the state of Pennsylvania. We were seeing 800 patients a week in one office. Your average chiropractor sees about 100 patients a week, so we were seeing 8 times the national average. And how we did that is the same way that we built up our restaurant business. It's the same way I built up a moving company. It's the same way I built up a real estate development company. There's basic laws of success and basic things you should do and basic things you shouldn't do. So today I'm going to share with you all the things you should do, and I hope that you learn from my good things I've done and my mistakes I've done. I've made some tremendously great decisions, and I've made some really bad decisions. So hopefully you listen today and you don't make some of the bad decisions I made, okay? But the key to success is always getting there. So that's my daughter Ivy right there, my daughter Hope, and my little crazy guy Grady right there. Grady, you see yourself there? Okay. So let's talk about attitude. There's a foundation for success. All successful people, any profession, anything that you do, it doesn't matter if you're a mover, a bar owner, a chiropractor, a doctor, a US food guy, a Cisco food guy. It doesn't matter what you do in your life. The foundation of success starts with attitude. People with a positive, successful attitude go further in life, do more in life, and more great things happen to them. I thought it was great when Bob did that today, when he made us all get up and walk around and shake hands and get to know each other. And when you walked into each other in a grumpy mood, what happened versus going up and acting like you hadn't seen each other in years. Okay, I haven't seen these guys since Galway last year, and how did we greet each other last night? We hugged each other. We were positive. We weren't like, oh, yeah, hi, how are you? What would their attitude have been for the rest of the trip? What's the matter with Dave? How come Dave didn't give us a hug when he saw him? How come we were all friends a year ago? How come we're not friends now? Okay, so attitude is a foundation for success. What's important to understand, in our business especially, don't we have a lot of things go wrong? Anybody get some emails during the first talk about something that broke, somebody didn't show up, this isn't working, we have to reset the computer? I see people laughing, okay? Did anybody's walk-in go down? Okay? All these things happen to us. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. The biggest key to success I've seen in the restaurant business is if we get our staff to understand this principle that, yeah, you know what? Shit's going to hit the fan, and it's going to happen all the time. Smile, have a great time, and remember to take great care of the guest. It's all about attitude. So your entire life, there's going to be things that go wrong. Is the economy great right now? No. Can anybody in this room go get a bank loan for $500,000 to go do something for their pub? Anybody? Did you guys notice there's not a bank vendor here today? We couldn't get a bank sponsor. Why? They don't want to lend to us. They're like, no, we want to stay clear of a room full of pub owners, okay? But that's just the way it is right now. So what you have to do is work with that, change it around, and make it work for you. So life is only 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. The next thing is, what you think about and what you bring about in your life is really a direct reflection of your attitude, okay? It really is a direct reflection of your attitude. So as you start to do more positive things in your life, you'll start to get more positive results, okay? And the amazing thing is, we get to choose our attitude. Do you get to choose much in life? Do you get to choose tax rates? Do we get to choose the economy? Do we get to choose certain pricing, okay? No. What do we get to do? We get to choose of our attitude towards that. If you want to bitch and moan and complain, guess what you're going to attract? Just more negativity to you, okay? Hey, guys, this monitor's not working up front. If you can get that on, thank you. Let's talk about the rhino attitude, okay? The rhino attitude is very, very important. We approach this in our life. My company's called Rhino Living, and what it is in my company, we've had this philosophy that I discovered when I was a chiropractor. I picked up a little book when I was a chiropractor, and it was called Rhinoceros Success. So I used it in my chiropractic offices. I used it in my restaurant businesses. And then Philadelphia Magazine came to do a story on me, and basically the guy said, hey, I pulled the short straw. I have to leave the city of Philadelphia and come out to the burbs and do a story about you. This isn't going to be much fun for me. So how's that great for when a writer comes to say they're going to write a bad story about you, essentially. So what ended up happening, though, was the guy found out about my rhino attitude. He's like, you got these rhino posters. Everybody's talking about charging. He's like, it's like this crazy cult. What's going on here? I said, it's just our attitude. Well, then the whole entire article was about the rhino attitude. And then all of a sudden I started getting calls from banks, from all kinds of different institutions, hospitals saying, hey, come in and teach our company how to be rhinos because we have too many cows, all right? So the rhino attitude is basically this. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, or a home. I really believe that. Attitude will absolutely make or break a company, a church, or a home. How does a pub feel when you first open it? Isn't the first month your pub open just insane? Isn't every employee so happy and excited? You look at their Facebook updates and it's like, I'm so excited, you got to come visit me at work. I'm doing this special tonight, come see me. And then you look at that pub a year later, going to work, be done by 10, hopefully see you guys out, right? The attitude changes. That attitude, you have to capture that positive attitude when it starts. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act a certain way, and we cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. You are in charge of your attitude. Anybody in this room want to make more money? Okay, you guys want to make 2011 better than 2010? I do, right? Okay. So let's make 2011 better. Number one thing you have to write down. Does everybody have the pads of paper from your bag? In your bag from Irish Pub Global, there are pads of paper. Take them out, because I'm going to give you a lot of good free information. If you guys don't have your bags, we'll get some up here. Can we get some notebooks up here for these guys? Kira and Owen, if we can get some stuff for these guys. I want to make sure you guys leave with concrete information. So rule number one, you got to have a positive attitude, and that's how we start to become successful. Number two, You get to choose what you want to be in life. You get to be a rhino or you get to be a cow. So from now on, you get to be a rhino or a cow. Here's how it works. The rhinos wake up every day. They're positive. They're energetic. It's just like what Bob said, where if you walk in as a boss and you walk in with your crappy attitude, you just gave that attitude to your staff. And now that attitude is going to go to your customers. Okay? You wake up and you decide to be happy or grumpy. It doesn't matter if you wake up and you just found out that you lost $10,000 in the stock market, that taxes just went up, that your manager just quit. You still have the ability to decide how to be positive that day. Now, the cow, on the other hand, hits snooze, pulls the blankets over their head, right, and says, I hate my life, okay? To the cow, every day is a cold Monday. It's a cold February Monday where they don't want to get out of bed. Who needs notepads out there to write on? Does anybody need any? Just raise your hand. We've got Owen going around the room. There's a couple people without tote bags as well, so just if we can get them up here. So now the next thing is, rhinos have great, busy, positive rhino buddies. You know one of the reasons I want to be here? I want to meet you, and I want to learn how you run your pub. I want to learn what you do. Okay, Ken's a friend of mine from Tiernanog. Anytime I spend time with Ken, I learn something that makes my company better. Okay? There's going to be people from Fido here this weekend, and I've talked to those guys at the corporate levels a bunch of times, and there's things that I learned. Okay? We've got some guys from Claudia in the room that I saw, right? And Pat McDonough's company, all right? Talking with Pat in Galway and sitting and having dinner with Pat, who's built a huge chain in Ireland and has a pub chain in the U.S. Amazing things you can learn by surrounding yourself with other people that get things done. So if you want to make a big impact in your life, we talked about positive attitude. You want to know the next best thing? Surround yourself with the 10 best people you can surround yourself with. You will become the average of the 10 people you spend the most time with. You will become the average of the 10 people you spend the most time with. If you would take that to heart, I could finish my talk right now. And we wouldn't have to do anything else because your life would dramatically change tomorrow. Your staff is the average of the people that work for you right now. So if you're not happy with your staff, guess what? They're the average of the performance of that entire team. Get a better team, and guess what? Your entire staff gets better. So now, cows like to hang out with complaining cows. You know, like complaining cows like to talk about? All the stuff they can't control. They like to play the victim. My good friend Frank Casper likes to talk about the victim cycle, okay? I don't want to hear about the weather. Have we had a nice spring in Philadelphia, anybody? No. Okay, does it affect your outdoor dining sales? Yes. But you better figure a way to get people in your pub regardless of the rain, regardless of the patio, because you have a sales goal to hit, all right? You don't complain about the things you can't change. Does anybody like to be around somebody that complains? No. We like to be around people that inspire us, right? That motivate us, that make us do great things. The other thing about being a rhino, there's no distractions. When you have a goal, you just do it. The cow finds all the obstacles. If you own pubs and you're trying to manage people better, the key is to get your managers to see their goals and not see their obstacles. So if you have a manager you're trying to develop, set food cost goals, liquor cost goals, all these tools to make your business more profitable, if they start saying, well, you know what, we could have done it, but we couldn't because of this, or Mary didn't show up today, or this didn't happen, you know what? That person either needs to be retrained or you need to find another manager, because they're always going to look at the reasons why they can't rather than why they can, all right? So the rhinos, again, will find no distractions, that if they have a goal, they will charge nonstop, all right? The next one that you have is alert for opportunities. The rhino personality, here's what a rhino does, okay? A rhino grazes all day in the field, right? Stands around, he's grazing. When he sees something he wants, he drops everything else, he charges full steam ahead, and nothing will stop him. Imagine if that was your managers. Imagine if that was you as a pub owner. Imagine if when you saw something you wanted, if you wanted your sales to go from $40,000 a week to $50,000 a week, and you were going to put the programs in place to do that, imagine if nothing stopped you. Imagine if nothing got in your way. They're the people that get things done, okay? The cows, on the other hand, will rationalize away all the reasons why they can't. Well, we'd love to try that promotion, but we'd love to try this, but what not, you know. Enda said it this morning. Enda said it great about the farmer, okay? You can't plow a field in your mind, right? We could have named a billion reasons why not to do an Irish Pub Global Convention in Philadelphia. And instead, we went with it, and we made it happen. And now you guys are all in a room because of a meeting that happened in October in Galway, all right? So there's always reasons not to, but there's always really reasons to do it if you focus on your goal. The next thing about rhinos, and I think this is huge for your employees and for your pubs and who you are as a pub owner, rhinos are always happy and healthy, okay? They're never sick. They're never like, oh, I can't be in there today because I have this and I have this and I have that, okay? You guys all have those employees, right? The employee that always gets sick at this time of the year, the employee that always gets a migraine, the employee that's always late because of that. Guess what? That's probably their tendency. If they don't change their life, they're always going to do that to you. Wouldn't it be better if you had somebody on your staff who was always happy and always healthy? Okay? I always look at sickness as largely a mental thing. Like Bob said, we need a day off. We need a mental down day. Okay? But a lot of people like to have chronic health problems because that gives them constant down days. All right? Rhinos just miraculously always seem to be happy and healthy no matter what. Another key to success right here, we talked about attitude, right? We talked about the average of 10, okay? And we talked about going the extra mile. Going the extra mile is so important. This is a customer-focused, such an important point to boost sales and grab your customers' attention and make them loyal to your brand. If you go the extra mile, if you always do more than what you're expected to do, guess what's going to happen? You're always going to get more in return. So if right now your pub is doing $40,000 a week in sales and you want to become a $50,000 a week pub, you need to start behaving like a $50,000 a week pub. It's not going to work. Right now, if your pub's doing $40,000 a week, guess why? Because you're providing $40,000 worth of quality service and everything else in your pub. Your pub reflects a $40,000 a week pub. If you want to make $50,000 a week in your pub, start going the extra mile. Put out better food. Okay? Present your drinks better. Educate your staff better. Train your staff better. Treat your customers better. And guess what will happen? All of a sudden, your pub sales will start to go up. We have a restaurant, Harvest, that we recently opened. It's a fresh seasonal grill. And we had some management problems within the team, and we had to make some tough decisions. And we knew we did. And some of it was getting rid of people that had been with me for a long time, but they just weren't right for the team. And one of the people said, I don't see how this place can do more than $70,000 a week. And we have this place, we know it can do $90,000 a week. We know when it's in incredible weeks, it can do over 100. We know it as a corporate team. So we had to make some hard choices. When we made hard choices, they were doing 65 to 70 a week. When we got rid of the people who were mentally blocking it, guess what they went up to? 90,000 a week, 85,000 a week. They haven't had a number below 85,000 a week, and I can't remember how long. Why? We put the right people in. We had them stop looking at the obstacles and start looking at what was great, but we also upped the level of service in all aspects. Okay? When we were doing $75,000 a week, guess why? It's because we had a manager that managed at that level, right? We had guest service at that level. When we upped everything, when we retrained our entire staff, when we made 2 people on our staff go to wine school to become better at wine, guess what we started selling all of a sudden? More and better wines, right? They're not going to sell themselves. We better trained and educated our staff. We put the right people at the driver's seat, and all of a sudden sales went up. And I mean dramatically up overnight and quick, just by the presence of people. All right? The next thing is, rhinos accept responsibility. You are where you are in your life right now because of your own actions or inactions. This is one of the most important things to accept. Rhinos accept responsibility. All right? Where you are right now in your life, you brought to yourself, whether you like it or you don't like it. All the decisions you've made, all the steps you've taken or not